Hi, I'm Deborah, and this is Elevated Energy, where I help you expand your spirituality into every aspect of your life so that you can heal, grow, and glow, and just live to your potential and live the happiest life possible, which is what we all want. And so today I just want to share some reflections because I have been really doing a lot of energetic and spiritual cleansing in my life. And it's really shown me it's made some things clear to me that I wasn't necessarily aware of. And it's changed some things for me. So I really want to share that with you. Would you like to better hear the messages, intuitions, and guidance from the spirit world so that you can apply them to your life? Well, today I want to share about the positive effects I have experienced from spiritual cleansing and how it has allowed me to hear more clearly the messages that are being sent to me from my guides and from the Creator. So I've been on a spiritual journey for quite some time now. I mean, really my whole life, right? Aren't we all? But I mean, very intentionally, from the time as a teenager and then as a young adult, really became a devout Buddhist. And then in more recent times had discovered plant medicine, studied that very intensely, worked with that, and am in a new phase of my life. And I proudly call myself a mystic. And so I've been on the spiritual path for a long time, very intentionally. And, over time, slowly, like just cleaning up my life, my spiritual life, my 3D life, so that it can become a little cleaner, less stressful, less negative or dense things in my life. And so I have really embarked on this process of slowly, step by step, removing and releasing different types of dense energies in my life. So I don't watch the news at all, but I do catch headlines sometimes, and I do catch clips sometimes on social media, and I do my best to scroll by them, but sometimes my humanity kicks in and I just want to know. But it's all good because it really, sometimes you need to kind of experience the effects of that in order to remind yourself why it's so important to be so conscious about what we consume. So I have been on this like spiritual path and really trying to be conscious of what I eat, who I interact with, the media I consume, books that I read, videos I watch. So I've been doing that for a while, and it's made a profound effect on what I experience on a daily basis. My thoughts are definitely more positive, more optimistic. The phrase that I came up with, I'm sure someone else thought of at some point, but it came to me as original, was, I see opportunities, not obstacles. And that's what I've experienced as I cleaned up my energetic world and cleaned up my spiritual life is just, that I come up against challenges, hardships, difficulties. Yes, I still have the full range of emotions, but it doesn't overwhelm me in the same way. I'm not as burdened by the things that I experience. And so there's been a ton of benefits to continuously cleansing, following my energetic hygiene routine, and also just continuing to be mindful and intentional about what I interact with. So that's all been fantastic. But what I've come to realize is there's some unforeseen effects that, you wouldn't necessarily think of. But I've experienced them, and it's just something to be aware of. So I'm giving you the heads up on some of the effects of trying to live a spiritually clean life. So the main effect is overall, I am more sensitive. I think it is like, I've talked before about, doing dietas in the jungle, working with plant medicine, making myself into a clean slate so that I can be more sensitive to pick up on messages from the spirit world. And while what I'm doing is definitely not a dieta, it is, as you take away some of this extra stuff and input in your life, you can't help but become more sensitive. And so that's what I've experienced, where I feel it's interesting because one day I came upon a friend who was watching a violent show, and I actually shuddered when the person, because I wasn't expecting it, the person in the TV show got shot, because I don't watch anything like that. And I actually shuddered. I was like, oh my God, I had to turn away. I'm so not used to it. And, some people might think, well, that's bad. You shouldn't be so sensitive. But I see it as a really wonderful thing. I don't really want to be used to that. I don't want to be used to seeing violence, consuming negative media. I think it's a great thing that I have that reaction, because I don't operate on that level. I don't resonate with those things, because the truth is, my friend who watches all those things, she thinks they don't affect her, but all it is that she's become numb to it. It's like building up a callus. You watch these, crime shows all day. Suddenly, it doesn't faze you. Oh, and it's a TV show, right? And somebody got shot, somebody got killed, whatever. It's actually really gruesome, at least for me. I just don't interact with it. And I'm not making a judgment about it, but I'm telling you that there's an effect. So if you're doing it, do it consciously and know that it has an effect on you. But there's no judgment here. It's not right or wrong. It's just an opportunity to become aware. And with that information, you can take control and better manage what you're experiencing and what you're putting into your world and your energetic field. The other effect I have noticed from really cleaning up my spiritual world, my energetic world, is that I kind of have to prepare myself sometimes before I go into public. And again, this might sound to some people like, oh my gosh, that's awful. I don't want to become so sensitive that I can't, go somewhere. Again, I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't really care to be like everyone else. I care to be the best me that I can be. And what I have found is sometimes I go into public spaces, and when I'm not prepared for it mentally, someone might shout foul language or do something rude, and I'm just taken aback, in a very deep, intense way, that it wasn't like that for me before, because I was used to it and I did develop a callus. But I'm happy to say I don't have that callus towards negativity anymore, because it stands out to me. And honestly, the fact that it stands out to me and can be so intense in terms of me noticing it, that's like a spidey sense. It keeps me away from all kinds of problems. I pick up on things so that I can stay away from the trouble before it's even started. So while some people might think that becoming more sensitive is a bad thing, it really is like getting your spidey sense activated. And now I can recognize situations. I get a vibe from people in a more intense and deeper way than I ever did before. People, places, situations that I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that, because that's not really good for my energy. So that's really one of the other effects of it. I consider it certainly a benefit. I mean, to me, it's all benefits. I've only benefited from cleaning up my spiritual life, but I recognize that to some people, they don't really want to have that level of sensitivity. But, you know, one of the main reasons that I even embarked on this path of living a more clean life is that I want to hear my guides. I want to hear the voice of the Creator. I want to hear the messages that are meant to help me live a better life, to give me comfort and encouragement. I want to be able to allow my higher self to step forward. And it only happens when I'm as clean as I possibly can be. So that's what I do. And that's the ultimate benefit of doing all of this, is that I can more clearly hear the messages from the spirit world that are intended to help me be my best and live a better life. And when I hear them, then I can listen to them. And from there, I can create a better life, and I can be of greater service, and I can do more for myself and others. And that's why it's worth it for me. That's why I'm happy to do it. It doesn't feel like some kind of deprivation or sacrifice. For me, it's all benefits. But I want to acknowledge, like, I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. I do my best to keep my energetic space clean, and I do energetic hygiene and cleansing. But sometimes I want ice cream. Like, I couldn't have it every day, but sometimes I just want some ice cream. And, your ice cream might be watching a certain movie, or, I have on occasion. I haven't done it recently, but at times in the past, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to treat myself to reading a news article. It's hilarious. But now, because I'm so clean, if I read the article, I'll have a dream about it. I'll have, like, it's not even like I'm worried about it, but it shows up in it goes into my subconscious and then shows up in different ways. You have to know everything that you imbibe, everything that you interact with is going into your subconscious and having an effect. So it's been really a joy to let go of so many different things and to be so conscious of my interactions, because I'm able to I have a clearer connection to the spirit world. I get more guidance and encouragement and support, which is what I need in this human life. So I encourage you to think about what you could do, one thing, maybe even the smallest little change, to make your spiritual and energetic life, I mean, it's really the same thing, to make it a little cleaner. What is one thing that you could do? You don't have to go cold turkey on anything. You don't have to cut out anything 100% unless you feel truly led to do that. But what is one little change that you could make to make your energetic world a little cleaner? So think about that. I'd love to hear what comes up for you in the comments. And if this video has spoken to you, if it's been of any value or encouragement to you, then I'd so appreciate it if you could like and subscribe and share it with anyone else you think could benefit. So thank you so much for listening today, and have an awesome day.